Hello, Vanessa McLennan here, and this is the place to be to help you with your emotional eating and poor eating habits. I'm a therapist and I really help you to address the reasons why you eat the way that you do. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what exactly is emotional eating. So you may have heard the term, don't know exactly what it is, you may think that you emotionally eat. Well, I'm here to talk to you today and perhaps dispel some of the myths. So if you would like to know more about emotional eating and also perhaps the reasons why you might eat the way that you do, click the subscribe button because I get a new video out every single Thursday. So what exactly is emotional eating? It is when you are feeling an emotion or an emotion comes up for you that perhaps you don't like, that you don't want, that you want to avoid. And instead of dealing with that emotion, what you have done or what you do is turn to food to help you manage that emotion. So it's at times of stress, anxiety, instead of sitting in that emotion, you just turn to food. That is emotional eating. It is also perhaps known as comfort eating. Anytime you want to comfort yourself, you just turn to food for that comfort instead. I would describe emotional eating as an emotion comes up for you. You don't want that emotion, you want to avoid that emotion, you don't like the feeling of that emotion, maybe you don't know how to handle that emotion. So unconsciously, instead of sitting in that emotion, what you do is you just simply turn to food to help you manage that emotion or to just simply take you away from that emotion. That is what emotional eating is. You might do this once, you might do this just at odd times, or you might find yourself doing it time and time again, repeatedly, several times throughout the day. So what could be the cause of the emotional eating? So it could be when you were a young child that you repeatedly had these patterns of turning to food. Perhaps you had poor parenting, perhaps you had just like learnt behaviour, or perhaps something happened in adulthood that caused you to turn to food for that comfort. And instead of learning to manage your emotions, express your emotions, learning how to deal with them, instead what you learnt was just how to manage them with food time and time again. So don't forget then this pattern would have been repeating itself if you started it off from childhood. For so many years, all these years throughout your childhood and then all these years throughout your adulthood. So you can see how strong and ingrained they will be. So it's really no wonder it's hard to break a habit when perhaps you don't know where it started from, or you've just had it throughout your life. So the difference with food is, some people they experience a trauma, experience just like a horrible childhood, or an event that's just really knocked them. Some people, instead of turning to food, might turn to alcohol, might turn to drugs, might turn to, another addictive behaviour. But the thing with, let's say, alcohol or drugs is that, you don't need them to survive. You can learn to let them go. So in other words, if you come away from being an alcoholic, let's say, or you want to you're not an alcoholic, but let's just say you want to, leave alcohol behind, you can then never ever drink that stuff again. Same with drugs, you can let them go and you never ever have to touch the stuff again. But with food, you need it to survive. So it's not as, I'm going to say it's not as easy. I'm sure if you're probably addicted to alcohol, you'll be like, yeah, it's not easy, so sorry. But I'm just saying the difference with food is you can't just leave it. You have to eat it every single day to be able to survive, right? And you can't just then stick a drip in your arm and walk about life pretending that food doesn't exist, because it does exist. So that's the big difference. On an emotional level, we can't escape our emotions either. Sorry, we can't. We're emotional beings. We're human beings and we are meant to feel emotions. And so we will have these emotions coming up for us, time again. Even if you're in your home, we have so many triggers going off for us. Somebody calls us, we talk to somebody, we see something, we hear something, we touch, we smell, we feel. All of these will trigger memories. Events will happen that will trigger again memories, will trigger feelings. And it's really, really hard. We just can't get away from them. So if you think, well, actually, I can just ignore the emotions. Well, that's probably what you've been doing with eating lots of food, is just suppressing and suppressing these emotions. but we're a bit like a pressure cooker in that way. The longer, you suppress, so long as you keep the lid on, the pressure just builds and builds and builds, and eventually it will need to escape. And what you're doing some way by eating is letting it escape, but actually you're not. You're just putting the lid on it, and eventually something will give. So no, I'm afraid you can't ignore your emotions. The whole essence of being human is to just live your emotions. And that's my next point about healing. To heal, you find yourself emotionally eating, is to actually just start allowing these emotions in, to start feeling the whole range of emotions that we have as humans. Anger, stress, anxiety, happiness, joy. Not one is good or not one is bad. I suppose it all depends on what context that you are in. But it is all just another emotion for us to feel, for us to manage, for us to let in how much we want of it, for us to, fully embrace it. And that's when we can start to heal, to just know, it's an emotion. Then emotion is okay. An emotion will never ever kill us. We can just learn to slowly sit with the emotion. So what do you think? Do you eat to suppress some of your emotions? Do you wish actually that you could never touch food again, never even think about food again? Comment below, because I would just love to hear your thoughts, love to strike up a conversation with you to understand you better. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you resonate with what I'm saying, comment below. In my next video, I will be talking a lot more depth about why we eat the way that we do. So a lot more about the causes of us emotionally eating. So you may want to watch it if you recognise yourself in